So far on the call, like, okay, okay. Looks like so far on the call, I think I have my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and I have one of my high school friends, Colin Sweet. Of course, you know Quinn, and he's already on. I'm trying to think of who this Latonya Johnson is.
Yeah, Latanya is one of Quinn's guests.
Okay, yeah, he talked about that yesterday.
And then there's another Zoom user that has not, their name is not labeled. It just says Zoom user. I got Latanya Johnson, Collins, Wheat, and Ronald.
Yeah, I think that Zoom user is my brother-in-law and sister-in-law.
All right, that's fine. Okay, well, let's go ahead then.
We just need to introduce her.
Okay, to everyone that's on the call, I want to introduce you to Verdita Monk. She is, now you're a manager? Or are you higher than that?
Senior President Director. That's okay. Senior Presidential Director of LifeWave.
Okay, well, you're breaking up.
My title, it doesn't matter, but it's Senior Presidential Director with LifeWave. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
I can actually turn it over to her now. I've introduced everybody.
Well, okay, I'll take over. Well, thank you so much, Ronald and your wife, for taking the time out on a Saturday afternoon to share with some of your friends and relatives something that you're pretty excited about. And I'm excited for you because I know what we're going to be sharing has made a difference in your life. So let me just tell you all a little bit about myself. My name is Verdita Monk. My husband and I reside in Atlanta, Georgia. And we are working this business together. And let me tell you how we got started. We were contacted by a friend of ours, just like Ronald and Quinn, contacted you all. And he said, I've got this patch, you need to know about it, but I want you to try some of them. And so we were literally on our way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is where my husband's from there, and that's where his parents live. And so it was kind of a quick, he seemed pretty anxious to get to us that same day before we went out of town. And so he gave us these patches, and I'm gonna tell you more about them in a minute. But what happened was we got to Milwaukee. My mother-in-law, who was 92 years old at the time, I've never seen her, excuse me, I've never seen her in pain. I've never seen her sick. Believe it or not, at 92 years old, I've never seen her complain about anything. But this particular time, she was in pain. Her knee was hurting very, profusely. She was rubbing it so hard and literally looked like she was in tears. And we had been on a call just like the one you're on right now. And we heard some people that had all kinds of health issues and pain as well. And so we said, well, why don't we just try this patch? You gave us these patches. Why don't we try one on her? And so we put the patch on my mother-in-law, and she was about to go to bed. And so we just, told her good night and everything. The next day, she woke up and said, well, I didn't have to get up at all during the night. Normally, I can't even sleep because my knees hurt so bad. She said the medications and the pain relievers that the doctor gave her never worked. They want to do surgery, but they know of her. She really did not want to do something at that age of 92. But that pain went away. So that got our attention. Now, we didn't think we needed the patch because we're pretty healthy individuals. We don't have anything that you can, you have to go to the doctor for. So we didn't think it was for us. But just out of curiosity and of obedience, we wore the patch that night. Now, let me tell you what happened that night. My husband, who normally for about 10 years had been snoring really badly, sound like a bear snoring in the room. It was terrible. Not only did he snore, but he also choked and coughed because he had acid reflux. And so that night he did not snore. After he put the patch on, he did not snore. I didn't notice it till the next morning because I would have been up all night myself. But the next morning I had slept all night, and so had he. And I'm telling you, he stopped snoring that night, and he has not snored since. And that was 2 years ago, November 12th, 2022 was the first time he put that patch on, and he's not snored since. So you know they had to get our attention because I didn't know the patch could do something like that. And you're going to hear some things today that you just don't even think. Okay, so let me just tell, I just wanted to let you know how I got here. Since then, what we decided to do, we decided we have to tell everybody we know about this because it may change someone's life. And case in point, there's a gentleman on the call right now named Quinn Garner, who is friends with Ronald and Denise. And we met at a hotel in Charlotte. They were there for a family reunion. My husband and I were there to go train on this same technology at a nearby church. And I just said, hello, how's it going? What brings you to Charlotte? And he said a family reunion. And I told him that what brought us there was the fact that we were doing this training on stem cell technology. I asked him, did he know anything about it? He knew very, very little. But then he started telling me things that his body was going through. And so I said, why don't you, try some of these patches? So I gave him and his wife some patches. And a couple of days later, I got them on a call like this. And I'm going to let him later on tell you what happened after that with him and his wife. And I really want to hear Denise as well when Quinn tells his testimony. So what I'm going to do right now, though, I'm going to get into a PowerPoint presentation so you can understand what this is all about. So listen, we're talking about stem cell technology, and a company called LifeWave is the company that represents this patch. Now, if you can see on these ladies right here, there's this tiny little patch. It's about the size of a quarter, and it's thin like a Band-Aid, just like a Band-Aid. And you put it on like a Band-Aid because there's paper on the back. You peel it off like a Band-Aid. And when you put this patch anywhere in your body, it's going to elevate copper peptides in your body. Copper peptides are then converted and are going to turn around and activate stem cells in your body. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. That's what's going to happen. And then your whole body's going to be regenerated. This is a phenomenal process because the scientists said nobody could ever do it. But let me share with you the company. I'm going to give you some credibility because I don't want you to think this is some gimmick or something like that. This company, LifeWave, is a 20-year-old company. And we're now, this technology is spread across the world in about 75 countries now. We've experienced exponential growth. For a first 17 years, the company was averaging about, had gotten up to about 20 million a year. All of a sudden, 1 year later, see, this patch came out in 2020. So about a couple of years at the beginning of 2022, the company started experiencing all this exponential growth, did about 320 million. The next year, 2023, about 430 million. 2024, we're going to end this year at over 600 million. And next year is projected we will become a $1 billion company. Now, how is this growth possible? It's because this patch is so powerful, and it's not something that you hear about every day. It's not a quote unquote Me Too product like most. Weight loss, all kinds of weight loss, all kinds of skincare, hair care. You can get any of those in any of those products from, you can get them at a health food store, you can get them at GNC, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Kroger's or Publix or any of those times. You can get them anywhere, but you cannot get this patch except through a representative who shares it with you like we're doing today. So David Schmidt is a scientist. Let me tell you, this man right here is what you call a genius. You don't meet a whole lot of people in your life that are geniuses, but he's one of them. This man has created over 180 patents. And that's very hard. It's very hard to get one patent, but 180 patents, that shows you how brilliant he is. Now, let me tell you how he got started. He was commissioned by the federal government, the Department of Defense, to come up with something to energize the Navy SEALs, to keep them energized for over 36 hours at a time without eating or sleeping. And so he came out with his first patch, which was called the Energy Enhancer Patch. And let me tell you, it was so successful that it spread across the United States to doctors, eventually to universities like Stanford specifically. And they had a women's Olympics swimming team that were using these patches. Now, elite athletes are not allowed to put anything into their body that is going to penetrate, is nothing that's going to enhance their performance. You can't do that. So for them to be Olympic champions and using these patches, the energy, that spoke volume right there. So back in 2008, Mr. Schmidt started focusing his attention on stem cell research. That's when that all became real popular, especially areas like California. But he spent 10 years developing this patch, and it took him $4.5 million to bring it to market. Here's the patent. See, the patent literally tells you this is a wearable phototherapy apparatus that produces beneficial effects to a human body, such as activation of stem cells, improvement of strength, improvement in stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. The non-transdermal apparatus reflects or emits specific wavelengths of light to eliminate levels of the copper peptide GHKCU in the body. So whenever you have a patent, you have to prove it. This is why David had those 80 case studies, so that he could prove that it works. That's how he was able to get this patent. So that lets you know it is proven that this patch works. Now, let me tell you why we need this patch. Well, first, let me tell you about stem cell injections. A lot of people have heard of stem cell injections, and they go and turn to stem cell injections because their bodies are so deteriorated. Their body, the doctor can't do anything else for them. And many times those physicians will say, have you ever heard of stem cell injections? So they recommend it, and because they're desperate, they'll go and get a stem cell injection. Here's a problem with stem cell injections. Stem cell injections, they're taken from an embryo or the umbilical cord. This is why it was so much controversy about it. Also, they're very expensive. They can range from $5,000 to $25,000 per injection, and then you still got to come back a year later or something to get some more. They're not guaranteed. See, many times people get these injections and they don't even work. And do you know that it's not covered by insurance? So and no money back guarantee. So with all of that, that's not necessarily the best option when you're needing stem cell injections. But once again, why? Why do we need these? It's because by the time we're age 30, half of our stem cells go dormant. They're not working anymore. And this is why you start seeing, when we start getting in the 30s, our eyesight start going away, start getting high blood pressure, things like that. By the time we're 60, almost all of our stem cells are inactive. This is when you start seeing people get dementia. This is when you see people start walking with a cane. This is when you start seeing people's heart. Okay, all of this is because our stem cells are becoming inactive. But see, our stem cells make up the tissues and organs in our body. They're the body's intended repair system. So if our intended repair system, which is the stem cells, have gone dormant, that lets us know our bodies are not going to heal themselves anymore. That's how you start dying, So the less active stem cells we have in our body, the slower we're going to heal, and the faster we're going to feel the effects of aging. But I want you to know, these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We're not making any medical claims. There is no medicine. There's no medication in this patch, no drugs or chemicals. So listen, how does it work? How does this thing work? Have you ever heard when someone, a doctor or someone say, you need to go out into the sun to get some more vitamin D? I mean, that's what happens, but it's not like there's vitamin D going into your body from the sun or in the air or anywhere. Your vitamin D is already in your body. But when you go in the sun, the light of the sun elevates the vitamin D. That's the same thing that happens when you put the patch on. This is why there's no drugs and chemicals. When you put this patch on, there's nanocrystals in this patch. The light of your body, when you put it on, are going to reflect off of the crystals. And when the light and heat of your body reflect off the crystals, it's going to elevate copper peptides, which in turn reactivate stem cells. So this is a form of phototherapy, just like the sun that I was talking about. So this is a patented nanocrystal technology, non-transdermal. So it means it's not going into your skin, reflects off of the light, like I said, to activate, and then no drugs or chemicals. This is why it's not FDA approved. FDA approves drugs. We're not a drug. This is nothing but salts and sugars that make them crystals, nanocrystals. It's non-invasive. So this is why we have so many doctors that are part of our company because they know that there's you can't even write one of those medical codes for this because there's no medical code with it. The doctors like it because I have plenty of doctors even on my team who are recommending these patches to their patients because there's nothing else they can do. Or, it's probable that they're not going to be able to help you. So now, here's some of the benefits. Increased strength, reduce inflammation. Anywhere that there's pain in your body or disease in your body, there's got to be some inflammation nearby, right? Energy and vitality, increased stamina, mental clarity. As we get older, we forget things. We get confused sometimes. Mental clarity is off the chain with this patch. Restored muscle and skeletal systems. As we get older, you see a lot of people, their height, they get shorter. They also like bending over, like they're walking with a cane or something like that. That's because their skeletal system is breaking down. This is going to restore the muscle and skeletal systems as well. Improve sleep. I told you about me and my husband and our situation. Improve skin appearance. I'm going to show you some pictures in a moment that make it real clear what happens with your skin, but definitely that your collagen, all that, your skin is going to start improving with this patch. Now, again, we cannot make any medical claims. This patch is just going to reboot your body. Now, remember I told you there were 80 case studies, and those case studies are documented and listed on a site called thisisit.info.com. Write that down. Thisisit.info.com, because that's where you're going to hear all about the case studies. You're going to hear doctors' reviews. You're going to hear all kinds of testimonies about the patches. You're going to get all this technical. This is where we send doctors to this site, etc. It's very user-friendly, so you can understand it. But in the first few days of wearing the patch, this is what they found in those case studies. Over 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's huge. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. I heard a testimony today because I had to do a presentation this morning. A lady, autism, children, like a lot of kids, they have autism. That's a reflection of your brain being unbalanced. But she met this lady, and got the lady's son had autism. I think he's 7 years old, and he was already going to Arizona to get stem cell injections. See, people will do what they got to do. They'll do what they have to do to take care of their loved ones. She was getting stem cell injections for her son. After she heard about the patches, she got him on this patches. 1 year later, she said her son has no signs of autism, but it begins to work. I mean, people that are, that have Alzheimer's, dementia, people that have PTSD. I have a gentleman that I can share that with you that has PTSD, had PTSD, and it all went away. It seemed like it was the first night. Within 6 months, the collagen is within 3 months, your collagen is increased. The collagen is like, if you're a brick house, the mortar of your house that holds the house together, that's the collagen. That's the way collagen is to our body. Collagen holds our body together, our bones, our tissues, and all that. Within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. Why is that important? Because can you imagine every 6 months that you wear this patch, your heart, your liver, your kidney, and all of your organs are going to get 8 years younger. Every 6 months, 8 years. I met a lady who had been wearing the patches 2.5 years. She's 73. When she had the vascular age test, they told her that she was the age of a 35-year-old. So they thought that maybe they had made a mistake. The machine needed to be recalibrated. And she says, no, that's not what's going on. I've been taking these patches. So that's a perfect example. I'll give one more example. My friend Jeffrey, even though he's diabetic, been diabetic for 10 years, 4 years ago, they had to give him a pacemaker because he had a stroke and he was in the hospital. They wouldn't let him leave home without the pacemaker. And so 2 years after that, his friend came over, this was 2 years ago, with these patches. And Jeffrey was taking 5 insulin shots per day. Well, the first thing happened with Jeffrey in 3 days, he no longer had to do insulin. He said he would do a half of injection at night and half of it in the morning just for maintenance purposes. But his glucose levels were normal after 3 days, and he had been taking 5 insulin shots per day. What else happened though? Remember the pacemaker? He was having to see the cardiologist every 6 weeks. And when the cardiologist came out of the room this time, because it was normally the nurse, this time it was a cardiologist. And the cardiologist said, Mr. Payton, what are you doing? And he says, what do you mean? He says, well, your heart is no longer relying on this pacemaker. Even, and he said it's operating on its own. He says, I've never heard of anything like that. Jeffrey just told me today that the people who own the pacemaker company reached out to him and wondered, they wanted to look at him closer because they said, well, did your machine break or something? He said, no. I mean, the monitor that did it break? No, it didn't break. He said, but your heart is working better than when you first started wearing the pacemaker. You guys, I'm elaborating a lot, but I want you to understand how significant what we're telling you is. This is changing people's lives. David Schmidt said this is not anti-aging, this is age reversing. How do you wear the patch? You can wear it anywhere on your body. In the case studies, they chose below the belly button, below the neck, and the back of the neck where I have mine today, just so they can have two case groups, case group A, case group B, so they can be consistent. You wear it anywhere. Wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and then allow your body to rejuvenate for those 12 hours. And next day, same time, you start again and put another one. So you're gonna get 30 patches in this beautiful packaging. This envelope goes inside of here. This little bitty envelope goes inside. 30 patches so just like you brush your teeth every day, you take a patch every day, but wear it 12 hours. You gotta drink plenty of water because your body needs to be hydrated in order to make this patch work more efficiently, okay? And you may start detoxing, getting the toxins out of your body. Sometimes, that everybody's body's different. You might get a little bit of a diarrhea, you may get a head, it may be something that's pushing the toxins out, but just push through it. And trust me, you're gonna feel a whole lot better. Now, right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop talking because now I would like, first of all, the person that introduced this to Ronald and Denise Prater is a gentleman that I told you about. I met in North Carolina, and I want Quinn and Denise Garner to come on, if you don't mind, show your video and start your, and unmute yourself and show your testimony. There you go.
Oh, can you see us? Okay.
I certainly can.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And I'm Quentin, and this is my wife, Denise. And as Verdita said, we met in Charlotte, and we was, matter of fact, getting breakfast. And she came up to me, and everything that she said is the truth. And I see the patches working because her memory is really sharp. I forgot some of the things, but it brought back to memory. But what I realized that when she was explaining it to me, and she gave me a few patches, I'm gonna tell you, I was pretty much more indecisive of what was happening because I wasn't interested in it. And the thing about it is when she gave me the patches, and I'm gonna say this, not as a bad thing, but a good thing, she was very persistent in what was going on because she would call me and she would call and make sure, she said, Quinn, did you put that on? I'm saying, no, I am. I kept hesitating and stuff. And so, and as a man, I think that's just our nature. We want to see facts and this and that. So what happened was my wife, she put hers on immediately after we had made our order. And so I was using her as observation, watching her. And she put it on, I was just hitting and missing. And then I'm gonna let her tell a story. But then after I watched her and she went to the doctor, this is where she'd come in and I'll finish up. Denise, tell him.
So when we met, Verdita, I was having growing pains and it was hard for me to stand up. It was hard for me to walk. And so she introduced it to me. And so I put it on immediately. The pain went away. I was able to walk. And so that was in July. I went to the doctor August the 13th and my doctor was really excited. And I was like, well, why are you excited? She's like, well, your cholesterol was 2.05. And she said, now it's down to 1.38. She said, what are you doing? Did you change your diet? And I'm saying to myself, no. And so she was like, well, whatever you're doing, continue to do it. She said, because it's working and I don't have that pain anymore when I wear the patches. So I know that the patches work. And I use the X39.
And on that note, when she went to the doctor, I watched her and she came back and she shared the report with me. And so as she shared the report, and I'm thinking now, oh, really? Now I got to go to the doctor within the next 3 weeks. So now I've been hitting and missing with the patches. Now I'm putting it on every day now. I'm putting it on every day to go to the doctor because she gave me this report. So I say it must be something, but I still wasn't really clear on it. You know, I wanted some clarification. You know, so when I went to the doctor, and as I sat in the room, my doctor came in. She's all laughing and jumping up. Hey, Quentin, you done it, you done it. And I'm like, what do you mean I done? Because they weigh you and all this, and I noticed that I had lost weight. I said, well, maybe he did something, but again, I'm still not convinced. So when she come in there, open up the door, laughing and jumping up, and I'm like, okay. She said, you did it. She said, cause see, my A1C, because I'm a diabetic, was up at 12 and then to go to 9. And the reason why, because of all the medication that I take, and then I also had cancer. And so my stuff was just fluctuating. And she kept saying, we're going to put more, we got to do more, you got to exercise more. And she knew I don't like taking medication, nor was I taking the shots. And so when she came in and said that, this is what she said. She said, Quentin, she said, your A1C now is at 7.4. Now, mind you, I'm almost not a diabetic after I get rid of them little 2 points there, you know, which is 4. And then she said, your good cholesterol is always good, but your bad cholesterol is better than your good cholesterol. And I'm like, what? So I'm thinking, she said, keep up the good work, whatever you're doing. This is what she said, and this is what I said to her. I said, well, Dr. McNulty, I have to be honest with you, and I have to tell you, I ain't been doing all I need to do, but I've been, you know, not poking the bear by eating a lot of sweets because I had cut down on that. But I'm using this patch called the X39 that was presented to me, and this is what's happening. She looked, and so I began to share the information with her that maybe she might want to, you know, jump on wagon. But see, I go back next month, so that's going to tell everything because I know she's going to say something. And so what happened was, she said, Quentin, that's a tool that's meant to be used in a proper way. And what got me when she said, you know, like with medicine, we give you medicine to try to help you, but this can be a God thing that, you know, everything that he does, you know, he puts in our, as a physician, he puts in our way to give to you all and stuff. We know, it was like, we know that the medicine ain't doing it, it's him. And so I got to thinking, and that's after I read that, and I mean, listening to it, and then I think probably like a few weeks later, whatever, my son had called me, and no, he was talking to my wife about his back and Ron back. And I got to thinking, I said, well, I'm going to call Ron and introduce him to this here product. So I called Ron because I know he work out a lot and this and that. And so what happened is that Ron said, well, when I sent him the patch to him and my son, Ron, I'm going to tell you, Ron called me in 2 days now. He said, Quinn, I said, what's happening? And then I'm going to let him go into it because I'm going to tell you something. This is what I said to Ron. He said, well, he going to tell you. But I asked Ron, I said, Ron, are you sure? He said, yeah, Quinn. And I asked him again, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. I say, Ron, are you sure? You sure? I said, if your friends see what's going on, they're going, and you know what? Ron said, yes, it is. You know what? That's when I got convinced because I want to make sure that Ron was, you know, like wasn't exaggerating because I was still in doubt. And so he was going through the same formality and everything that I was thinking and going through. He was going through the same thing. And I was listening to everything that he was saying when he talked to Prater. And then when Ron said that, guess what? I was hooked in. It was just like an affirmation that he gave me this here. I said, you know what? It was the confirmation, as my wife said. I'm going to tell you this and then I'm done. I went to the doctor to get my eyes checked. I want to get everything checked. I wear glasses, and I kept telling my wife, I need my glasses changed. I went to the doctor, and I'm going to make a long story short, my glasses that I wear now, and then they like at 20/40. He told me last week, he said, when you get these new glasses, the prescription, your vision going to be 20/20. So I know this is working on the inside. So as Prater said, these are some of the things that you have to find out for yourself because everybody's body is different. Thank you again for introducing this to me, Prater, because you were precise about everything. And not only that, you was very persistent. And I'm like, man, I gave this woman my number, but it worked. I'm glad you did. Thank you.
Hey, that's an excellent testimony, Quinn. But you know, when you start talking about the eyes, as we get older, our eyes are not going to get better.
It's
So
exactly.
for your eyes to be getting better, you know it's the patch.
Exactly.
You know, and see, I know because I've been around 2 years. You all are just now experiencing what I hear every day. I hear
Yes.
I hear a miracle, in my opinion, every day. So I'm thankful that not only are you feeling better, But keep doing just because you feel better. Don't stop using them just because you feel better,
Exactly.
because it may prevent something else. I mean, but not only are you just gonna be so youthful, all your friends gonna think y'all so young and everything.
Yeah. But actually, I don't feel as tired as I used to in taking all the medication. So I know it's doing something internally. So you're right.
Absolutely. All right, so thank you all so much. And now I'm gonna ask Ronald. Ronald, if you don't mind coming on and sharing your testimony as well. Hit the video, start video, and unmute yourself.
They okay.
Hold on.
I hear you. I don't see you yet.
Yeah. You have to do the video.
Okay, let me see if I can ask you to unmute. Okay.
Okay.
Right here.
Mm-hmm. Start my video.
There you go. I don't see it yet, but I know it's coming.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I see that it's open, but for some reason I don't see your face. You got your camera on you showing yourself?
Yeah, it's spinning right now. It should pop up
Oh,
any minute.
maybe the internet. I think it's on your end, the internet service, because you had sent something about my internet earlier. There you
There we
go.
are.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
To everyone, I'm Ronald Prater, and yes, to pick up where Quentin left off, his son and I did receive a couple patches in the mail one day, and I wasn't sure what was going on, but he put a little note with it. He said, "Hey, I'm not a salesman, but I need you to try this." He says, "Now, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I just want you to try it." So long story short, I did try it. And as he said, 2 days later, I called him back and said, "I don't know what this is, but it works." Now, I'm a person that wore a back brace morning, noon, and night. I slept in it. I didn't shower in it, but any other part of the day, I always had a back brace on because I have some bulging discs, some that are actually dry, which they say are closed. And the pain was just excrucive some days that I just didn't want to do anything. After I put these patches on, it seemed like I had new life. In other words, I didn't have the pain, and I still wasn't a believer of it, but I kept wearing it. And I think about a week after that, Quentin and I talked again, and he said, "Is it working?" I said, "Yeah, but I'm still not a believer of it." So long story short, I kept wearing it. As we speak, it's been, I think, 6 weeks, and I have not worn my back brace. I've actually had 5 knee surgeries, and I was having trouble with the last knee surgery with a lot of pain. So I did put the patch on the knee for just a couple of days. The pain went away. I haven't had to put it back on the knee. I also used to wear a knee brace to kind of compensate the pain. I don't wear the braces anymore. So at that point, all my partners at the gym were asking me, "What is that little patch you got on?" I said, "Well, you guys are more skeptical than I am, but here it is." So I explained the patch to them, and a couple of them had just had knee surgeries. I gave them some samples, and they came back and said, "Man, something's working. It feels different." I have another partner. I don't think he's on the call right now. I think he's busy today. We were working out, and he actually popped a muscle, a bicep muscle, while we were working out. And I just happened to have a couple patches in my bag in my locker, and I immediately went and got them and said, "Hey, put this on for 12 hours, take it back off, and try another one." I saw him about 3 days later, and he said, "Man, what is in that patch?" I said, "Well, it's not miracle growth, but it does work." So, like I say, the retired ones, we meet the first Friday of every month to do breakfast after we work out all week long. And I introduced it to all the ones I hadn't seen this past Friday. And they were all supposed to be on this call. Now, don't ask me where they're at, but I'm sure they're going to have questions, which I will try my best to answer. But long story short, I'm convinced the patch does work. As I'm sitting here now, I have no back brace on. I have a 49 on my back at the bottom, and I don't have any pain at all. So they do work.
Wow. I mean, that is life-changing to not have to wear a back brace.
Yes.
That
And
is,
while I'm at it, my wife also is she's got well, Denise, you can tell them she's wearing 4 or 5 different patches, which she's skeptical just like me, but she tried it and now she's convinced. So I'll let her tell you which patches she is using.
So I tried what is it?
X39,
No, the
Ice Wave.
sleep nights.
Oh, Silent Nights. Oh,
Silent nights. I tried that because my brother has issues with insomnia and not being able to sleep at night. And so I thought, okay, I'll be the guinea pig. I'll try it and see how it works. I used it for 3 nights. The first night I put it on my shin, but I put it on the wrong side. So I was able to sleep, but I didn't have the calming sleep that I would have thought that I would have had with this particular patch. The next night I put it on my the correct shin and I had a restful night's sleep. The third night I put it on the pulse point on my head, and that did not work for me. But again, I was convinced that the patch worked for sleeplessness because I was able to sleep 2 of the 3 nights. I've also used the X39, and I've used the Ice Wave patch. I have Decorvain's tenosynovitis, which is a stress in the tendons. They call it the mommy thumb or words to that effect, that it tends, like where you're lifting the baby, you get that strain here and here, and so it tends to be sore. Mine came from lifting weights, but well, and also my grandson.
Yeah.
But I used the Ice Wave patch on that wrist area and it took away the pain. I switched over to the X39 patch and I've been using that, and I've not had the pain, and I've been able to lift and move and do the things that I normally would do. So
well, Denise, I have one question. Have you ever
Sure.
tried the X39 patch?
I tried the X39 patch once and it does work. I just
Okay.
I
All right.
tend to try to use the ones that Ronnie's not using. So.
I use
Okay.
both
So
of
let
them.
me help you out. Remember, David Schmidt has over 180, and this is why we really normally talk about the X39 only on these calls, because for all those years, David Schmidt, I mean, he has 180 patents, and he kept doing all these patches have a different purpose.
Right.
When he created the X39, this was his masterpiece. The X39 does everything all of those other patches. Remember I told you how me and my husband slept?
Yeah.
It's helped with the sleep. It helped with the pain. Your husband has talked about the pain.
Right.
The X39 would have done all of those things for you. But let me just tell you, for example, the X39 may not eliminate the pain in 10 seconds or less. The Ice Wave is designed to eliminate your pain in 10 seconds
Right.
or less if it's applied properly and correctly.
Right.
So then,
Right.
then like for example, glutathione is another patch which it's a lot of purposes, but it's really good for cancer, and it is it's a detox. It's good for the it's a detox, and but it's really good for cancer. And but if you go to the doctor and get a glutathione shot, the X39 has the same benefits of the glutathione, but the glutathione patch is 300 times stronger than an injection you can get at the doctor's office. So if you want enhanced performance from glutathione, that's when you would go and add that patch to the X39. But when you do any patches, always do the X39 in addition to any of those other patches.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
all those sleeplessness, all that kind of stuff, all that probably would have gone away the first night. So just always know that the X39 is the masterpiece. This is why the company is growing so fast, because you can do one patch and take care of everything. I still use the carnosine because it's good for the, it's for the the brain neurological system. It's helping with Alzheimer's and dementia, but it's also good for strength. It's got a lot of different purposes. So anyway, I just want to encourage you to wear the X39 every day. So y'all got to start ordering 2 sleeves of X39 every month so that both of y'all can get younger. See the
Yeah.
ice wave is not gonna make you younger. You see, and neither is you know, that silent night, but that X39 is gonna make you younger.
Okay.
All right. All
Okay.
right. So yes, I think everybody's kind of heard enough of testimony, and hopefully you all are benefiting from hearing these testimonies. I'm gonna get back to the presentation because I want to share. Remember, I told you about, I was going to show you some visuals. Look at this gentleman. You ever heard of a disease called vitiligo of the skin? There is no cure for it. Look what happened after 3 months. Look at his forehead. All this is going under his eyes. That's much minimized. This man started looking younger, and the spots were going away. This is him a little bit later. He's like a whole different person. Look at him a year later, no vitiligo at all. There is no cure for vitiligo. Look at this gentleman whose hair started growing back. Excuse me. Excuse me. He was almost bald. Look at this lady. Look at the wrinkles. This is what I mean about getting younger. Look at wrinkles around her chin and underneath her neck, around her eyes. That's just from using the X39, and she's been wearing it for 3 years. So there's a lot of benefits. Again, you can go to thisisaninfo.com to get all this information about the technology, the physicians' reviews, case studies. These are, if you click on the menu button, you're going to see many testimonies that you can click on. They'll be recorded like this one. So it helps build your belief level, because there are people in your life that need help. You know, people that have neuropathy, that's not comfortable. People that are, you know, having neuromuscular issues, that's not. My best friend just told me the other day, her husband for years had these issues with the pockets. I don't even know what you call it, but the issues with the pockets in his gums. But he went back for his annual, every 6 months he goes, and they said they could not believe his pockets hurt. His whole mouth is like his gums are like new. She couldn't believe it. The dental improvement. So all kinds of things. So we're talking about your health freedom, you guys. I'm going to take a second and tell you about how we can enhance your financial freedom. Listen, this is a global business. I already told you, we're in over 75 countries. And there's a website called businessforhome.org that documents and monitors companies like ours, because we are a home-based business. We're building this business from our home, because all we're doing is sharing it with our friends, right? And so our company is the fastest growing company like that in the world. Okay, that's something to be proud of. And I want to say that I'm going to share you some numbers, but there's no promise or guarantee of the kind of money you're going to make. What it is based on is your commitment, your efforts, and your skill set that's going to determine on how successful you will be. But if you follow me, you're going to be very successful, because we have a system in place. Now, there's several ways you can get paid. Let's say, for example, we've got let me see who we said we got on the call. We got Collins. Let's say Collins just says, hey, Ronald, look, I just want to try one of those patches. I just want to buy a sleeve from you. Okay, Ronald has a choice. Ronald can send Collins to his site, and Collins could say, I don't just want to be a customer. I want to be a retail customer. I don't know why he would want to be. Why? Because a retail customer pays $150 for a 30-day supply. But Ronald would make $50, and he would get 77 points when it happens. Now pay attention, because this is important. Ronald is going to get $50 when Collins gets this one 30-day supply of X39, and he's going to get 77 points. Okay. Then the other option that Collins may take, if he just wants to try one sleeve, he can get it at wholesale, but it's not going to be one sleeve, because if he gets the wholesale price like we do, he's going to have to be on the product every month. It's called a preferred customer. Now, Ronald will only make $20 when Collins signs up as a preferred customer, and he'll get 43 points. I'm gonna show you in a minute what's gonna happen with those points, okay? Now, the other way that Collins could decide to get some of these patches, he might say, you know what, let me go on and get a whole 30-day supply for me and my wife, and then another one that I might share with some of my friends. You heard Ronald talking about how he shared some of these patches with some of his friends. Well, the core package, it doesn't show it here, but the core package is a $295. I'll show you another slide that shows you it's $295. In other words, you're paying about $99 for a 3-month supply. You're going to get the $35 if Ron, in this situation, if Collins decide to buy this package, you'd make $35, Ron, and then the company's going to give you another 180 points. Again, I'm going to show you what to do with those points in a moment. But Ron might say, you know what? I like what I'm hearing, and I like the fact, I know I'm going to be telling some of my friends, and I might as well go ahead and get paid for it. Let me go on and get that advanced pack. That advanced pack is $535, and I'll bring that up in a moment. But this time Collins is going to get 6 sleeves. In other words, $535, he's getting another sleeve for $35. He's saving $65 for getting the $535 pack. That's enough for him, his spouse. And then, like what me and my husband did, we gave enough samples intentionally. We just put them in an envelope and mailed them out to quite a few of our friends. Then this scenario, Ron would make $75 and get 300 points. The last scenario is the premium package. In this scenario, excuse me, Ron would earn $405 and he would get 745 points. But this package would cost $1,750, but he's getting 20 sleeves. He's getting $2,000 worth of inventory, and he's saving $250. Many doctors, most doctors, all doctors get this package. My husband and I got this package because we had a list of people. We had a list of 25 couples that we wanted to send patches out to. We sent each one of those couples 10. I'm not suggesting you do that, but we sent 10 because as a husband and a wife, we wanted each one of them have 5 patches each. And then we had another list of people that were single individuals, and we sent those 5. What that did was that allowed us to, in that case, we only had I forget how many sleeves was in that package, something like 17. You see 12 plus 18. I don't remember because they changed the pack since we got. Anyway, there was enough left over for me and my husband to have 2 own sleeve for the next 3 months. Okay. Now, look at this. Remember I told you the points. Let's say this is Ron, and let's say this is Collins. And Collins come in. He says, I want the premium pack. I got a big vision. I got a lot of people I want to help. That 745 points I told you that comes with the premium pack, they only give you 525 of those points the first month. And the next 2 months, they're going to give you another 110 points. And this, what you're looking at right here, is called a binary. This is you, Ron. And every time you enroll somebody, they're going to fall on a left side of this binary or a right side. And when you see these numbers right here, this just tells you the kind of package the person bought. So let's say Collins bought the premium, and let's say that Collins went and told his sister, and she decided to get the advance. That's 300 points. And he may have told his brother, he got 300 points. And then maybe his sister went and told somebody, and that person got, you see, these people on this page are not even people that Ron may know. He may not even know these people. But guess what? Because they bought one of those packages, they fall in this binary, and Ron starts getting paid on all those people. In this scenario, when you add all these points up, they add up to 2,130 points. And on the side over here, you add them up, that's 1,005 points. So what happens to get paid on this binary commission, it means that every time 660 points fall on one side and 330 fall on another side, the company pays you a $50 commission. So in this scenario, there's 3 cycles that are generated, because 3 times 660 is, you know what I'm saying, that's going to go into the left side 3 times, and 330 going to go to, he made $150. And in this scenario, Ron may have only enrolled these first 2 people. And that's something, but yet he's getting paid In addition to what he made when he enrolled those people, he also made other money called a binary commission. Now in this, our commission structure, you can make $1,500 a week as a manager. That simply means you've already shared it with 4 people. A director, you know, and of course the volume has to generate as well. As a director, you can max your income on the binary commissions at $2,500, but it can go all the way up to $25,000 as long as you've enrolled, you know, as long as you're in a binary, okay? So that's some deeper training, but I'm just letting you know that we can max out the binary commissions at $25,000 a week. I have plenty of friends that are earning that on a weekly basis just on this way of pay alone. These people I know personally, okay? Now, the manager is the first position we want to help you get to. 2 people on your left, 2 people on your right. But here's the part I want you to get, and I'm not going to hold you but 2 more minutes. I want you to know that this is the most lucrative part of our compensation plan. If this is Ron and he enrolled Collins, I'm gonna give that example again. Let's say Collins goes out and make $1,000 this week in the binary. Ron would make 25% or $250 as long as he is a manager. That's why I want you to get to manager. It means 4 people. Then let's say that Collins goes and gets 10 friends who decide they want some of these patches and they start earning money in the binary. Collins, whatever these people earn, Ron, you're going to earn 20% of what they earn. That could be thousands of dollars. And then the people on your 3rd level are the ones that were brought in by the people on your 2nd level. They fall on your 3rd level, but you're still getting 20% every time they earn money in the binary. So you could see there going to be literally thousands of people that it spreads to. And then, you know, my husband and I are so blessed that we now have a team of almost 7,000 people. And we did that within the last couple of years. And a lot of those people fall on our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level. When they earn money, we get paid as well. And so here's just a visual to show you what could happen. This could be you. You could have 4 people on your 1st level and total 17,000 in binary commissions. You'd get 25%, which is $4,250. The people on your 2nd level in this scenario added up to 23,000. You get 20% of that, or $4,700. And people on your 3rd level generated 38,000 in binary commissions. And 20% of that is 7,600. When you add all that together, you earned this week $6,550 just in matching bonuses alone. And so this is what I mean. You can earn as much as you want or as little as you want, but a lot of you can't even control because people going to do what they want to do, and they push up. As they build up, you start earning that money. The comp plan is broken down very detailed on this site called thisisitteam.com. Just go there, click on compensation. This is just some little envelopes, like, you know, I send patches out in this envelope where it shows the benefits on one side. On the other side, it talks the instructions on how to use the patch. It also tells you to go to thisisitinfo.com to get more information. So that's all that patch, but that's a good way to mail those patches out. That's what we did to people. This is the application I was telling you about. It literally reflects the prices on this page. $295 for the core or 3 sleeve, $535 for the advanced package. Now you could start out at the core, and then, like, more than likely, because there's 3 sleeves in here, the next month you'll be saying, I need to upgrade to the advanced, because you really will save money if you upgrade versus buying more patches. You see, until you have exhausted upgrading to these positions, you're like, here you're only paying $87.50 a patch for a sleeve. So what I'm saying is you're gonna want to upgrade, just pay the difference. The difference is 3 sleeves, and the difference is $240. So for 3 sleeves for $240, that means now you're paying what, $80 a sleeve when you upgrade. So you see why that's significant. Here's one more last thing. I told you it was 2 minutes. I've spoken 3. Let's say that everybody, in order to earn that money that I talked about in the binary, you need to stay active. How do you stay active? Just use the patches. Just use the patches every month. Get yourself on what we call auto ship, so they automatically come to you every month. Now, that keeps your points from flushing. Those are thousands of dollars that you could be earning. You don't ever want those points to flush. I was telling Quinn, I think I looked at it last night. I think he has something like 20-some thousand points. He doesn't even know he has all these points. And that converts to money. when you get your structure together, and volume start happening on his right side. But if you want to max out the comp plan, or if you're married, you need 2 sleeves anyway. Get 2 sleeves per month. So now you can make all the money. You're limited to $100 a week in the binary if you just get 1 sleeve. But if you want to get access to all the money in the compensation plan, you need 2 sleeves. That's for you and your spouse, or 1 for you and 1 to share. So with that being the case, I'm going to end this call, but let me say this. I know you said, Ron, there was some other people that should have been on this call. In about 5 minutes, I'm gonna have to end this call because it's recorded, it's separate. I'm doing another one just like this, but it's for another team here in Atlanta, a new person like you, Ron, that I'm doing it for. And you're welcome. If you haven't have anybody else, that seems like 3 more people. Wait a minute. Looks like they're on this call. They shouldn't be on this call yet. I'm gonna stop this recording, but they're already on your call, right? But if you'd like to join that call, you have to log back in. And if you had a guest you want to bring on, you can. With that, you all, thank you for your time. We'll see you, talk to you soon. But Ron, get back with those people and let's get them on these patches. Okay, take care.